Question 5 is coming from trigonometry part A. Show that this equation here may be expressed in the form of a cos squared x plus b cos x plus c is equal to 0, where a, b, and c are integers to be found. These are integers, so they can be positive or negative whole numbers. Okay, so we have 4 sine of x, then plus, this is 5, then we divide by tan, is the same as sine out of cosine, right? Then plus, this is 2 over sine of x, which is equal to 0. Of course, this one will somersault and then goes up there. So we shall have 4 sine of x, then plus 5 cos of x out of the sine of x, then plus 2 over sine of x, which is equal to 0. So since this one is over 1, then I will multiply everywhere by sine of x because it becomes the LCM. So when I multiply with sine of x, here I get 4 sine squared of x, then plus, when I multiply here by sine, that one will disappear. Then we have 5, the cosine of x, and then here, this one will also go, and then we remain with a 2, which is equal to 0. Since we are expressing it in terms of cosine, then I have to express sine squared x in terms of cosine. Okay, and using the Pythagorean identity, this one has to be 1 minus the cos squared of x. Okay, then 4, then plus 5 cosine of x, then plus 2, which is equal to 0. Opening the brackets, we have 4 minus 4 cos squared of x plus 5 cosine of x, then plus 2, which is equal to 0. So I can just write this as a negative 4, then this, and then 4 plus the 2, that is a 6. But usually I recommend you use the coefficient, this a here, okay, of the highest power, to be a positive. So I will take everything this other side. So what shall we have? That will be 4, then cos squared x. Then when this one crosses, it becomes a minus. So minus 4 cosine of x. And then 4 plus 2, that is a 6. Then when the 6 crosses, it becomes a minus. So that is equal to 0. So this is our equation. So our A is the 4, our B is the negative 5, our C is the negative 6. Then part B, hence solve this equation here. So the one that we have gotten up there is the one that we are going to solve, which is a quadratic in cosine. So that is 4 cos squared of x, then minus 5 cosine of x minus 6, which is equal to 0. So I can use a calculator to solve this straight away. Mod, we go to equation, then 3, and then from there we can put 4, then negative 5, and then negative 6. Then after that, we are getting a 2, and then negative 3 over 4. So I will skip space and I write cos of x is equal to negative 3 over 4. And also cosine of x is equal to the positive 2. But you need to show the examiner that you have solved the quadratic equation. So the attempt to solve the quadratic equation is always awarded. Okay? But if you just write your answers here, you are going to lose a mark. So we need to get the factors from which these roots come. Okay? So if we cross multiply, this will be 4 cosine of x, then bring this one this side, it becomes a plus, right? So we have plus 3. That is the factor which gives us this one, okay? And then bring this one this side, it becomes a minus, so we shall have cosine of x, then minus 2, which is equal to 0. Now, this one here, of course, it is going to be undefined because cos does not go beyond negative 1, and neither does it go beyond 1. Okay, so that is it. We are not going to have a solution. If I actually show you how that one comes about, y is equal to the cosine of x, you can see from here that the maximum is the one you're seeing here, the minimum is the negative 1. So if I put y is equal to 2, you can see that this one is above, okay, that purple line is above this one. So there is nowhere they are meeting. So there is no solution for that. But if we put y is equal to negative 3 out of 4, the one that we have gotten, you can see that these two are meeting. Okay, they are meeting. So this one here is 90. So this one is the first quadrant. Cosine is positive. In the second quadrant, okay, in the second quadrant, cosine is negative. So you can see it is below the y-axis. It is below the x-axis. And there is an angle here because we are having this value here is a negative. Do you see that? Then in the third quadrant, also cosine is negative because this is 270 from pi to 3 pi over 2. That is 180 to 270. So there is also another answer here. Okay, this one here in the third quadrant where cosine is negative. And then in the fourth quadrant here, the cosine is positive. It is above the x-axis. So we don't have any solution here. So the solutions are here. Now, I always use the other circle. Okay, if you have been following me for a while, you have, I think, already seen that I draw a circle like this. And then I say that in the first quadrant, all are positive. Only sine is positive. In the second quadrant, only tan, then only cosine. Then this is 0. When we move anti-clockwise, the angles are positive. Then when we move clockwise, the angles are negative. So when we come here, that is 90. Then this is 180. This is 270. Then by the time you come back here, this is 360. So if I project an x here as an angle, and then I extend this one here, opposite angles are equal. Even this one will be x. I do the same thing here. This is an x, then also this one is going to give us an x. That means to move from here up to here in the second quadrant is the same as saying 180, then minus this x here. Okay, so here we write 180 minus the x. In the third quadrant, we have 180 plus x. In the fourth quadrant, I will say 360, then minus this x here, right? So that is 360 minus the x. Now, there are two ways you can get this answer here. So x is equal to the arc cos of the negative 3 over 4. Okay? You can ignore the negative. When you ignore the negative, you will get an acute angle. Okay? After getting that acute angle, that is the x I've been talking about here, then you will get the answer in the second quadrant where cosine is negative by getting 180 minus that acute angle you have gotten, or 180 plus that acute angle you have gotten. So what do we get when we take the arc cos of 3 over 4? Since the domain of x is given in degrees, then your calculator must also be in degrees. So shift, then the cosine, then we get 3 out of 4. This one will give us 41.4. I'm going to take to one decimal place, 41.4 degrees. Okay, now I go to the quadrants where cosine is negative, so I will say 180 then minus this 41.4. 41.4 isn't amongst because this one is for the positive and yet we are dealing with the negative. Then the next angle is here. We shall have 180 then plus that 41.4 degrees. So our x is therefore going to be 138.6, and then this one here is 221, then 0.4. All of these answers to one decimal place. Or you would get x, which is equal to the arc cos of negative 3 over 4. Then it gives you this answer straight away. It gives you that obtuse angle. And then the other answer will also be x is equal to now 360 minus this one you have gotten here. You get the two answers we have gotten. So let's check them out. Arc cos of negative 3 out of 4. What do you get? Don't you see that it is 138.6? Then how about when I say 360 minus that answer? You still get the same thing, 221.4. Okay, 221.4. And then this one is 138.6. So that is that.